do the end character for my son when he was 6 years old. And so, and I think my kid got, he offered my son $60. Right? And I mean, there was an inspiration for the character, right? Yeah, they drew a character after me. But yeah, it started out in like a really interesting way. They approached me about it. The studio had never heard of like hiring someone for reference. And so basically all the cool moves that you see in the show, that was me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But it was a fun affair. In the beginning it was really organic. It was they'd be like, we want to do this sort of antic. What would you do? And I would just come up with stuff. It's like my teacher's curriculum is so rich. Options, right? And I asked my teacher about it beforehand, which I'm glad I did. My teacher he said he was at work one day in a room full of generals and colonels and lieutenants and mathematicians and engineers. And he said he was sitting there for this presentation about some world-destroying mechanism, right? And he said these guys were standing talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender. He's like, what did he do? And he was like, and then we kind of got famous from the thing. A lot of good work went into that show. It's I was this much of it. But like seriously, there were it was an army of artists, an army of directors and storyboard writers and all this stuff that it was a lot of energy went into each, a lot of money. Like I think each episode was like $1 million for the time. That was over 20 years ago, right? Wow. But I mean, seriously, you had 700 or 800 people working on every episode. The people that organized the money to get us paid, right? The various artists that would come in, the supervising director, the various producers on the show. There's a lot of hands in there.
Sure.
And it kind of tickles me when I see some of these people that, so there are all these writers. We had some amazing writers. And they just kind of pushed these guys to the side. And, they came back and tried to do another show without those same people. And it was, different people have their opinions about it. I didn't particularly like the second time around. The Cora show was only supposed to be 12 episodes. She was supposed to lose her powers. There was going to be these short morality tales that what happens if you're not spiritual, right? You lose your powers. But Nickelodeon, Viacom, all the upper echelon are some very powerful women, and so they kind of dug in their heels on that one.
Sure.
Now I think it was supposed to be this year, but I guess it's going to be next year. There's a full-length Zuko movie coming out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Live action or
No, it's going to be animated.
Okay.
And then they want to do what they were doing in the first place, which was they wanted to do like short stories of the lives of different avatars.
Oh yeah.
So like in Korra, the Avatar 1, the first Avatar, and that whole thing was supposed to be its own separate little thing, but they just kept sprinkling in all these elements. And I think they lost sight of like the bigger picture the second time around. The first 3 seasons it was really organic. It was like really sweet the way it went down. There was a lot of like collaboration of like, we'd get a script and it would call for certain antics. And then we would take it to the next level and talking about yin and yang and the greater and lesser powers and forces of the universe and how would you arrange the molecules of metal, right? Is lava a form of water bending, right? It just had all these really cool kind of like metaphysical physics discussions about the potentials. The whole thing with like blood bending, and we're like, well, the body is full of water, right? And it was probably the first time. Like I had worked in Hollywood off and on for like 20 or 30 years, and it was the first time where somebody had actually taken me seriously, and I wasn't just like a supernumerary, part of something. And so that was kind of cool to be taken serious for a while and get your ideas out there.
Sure.
And so we did some good work, some really good work. But I'm very quick to say that everybody had a part in it. And there's so many cogs in that machine to make it go.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's do some more with this thing. Here, help me out.